What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles. You're listening to Lyles Movie Files. Joining me today is little brother Jace. How are you?
I'm good. Good. Trying not to bake outside where water takes like 2 seconds to be boiling hot, but hey, I'm in air conditioning and I'm ready to podcast. All right.
Jay King, what's up with you, man?
Not much, man. Like everybody else in the D.C., Maryland, Virginia area, I'm trying to stay cool through these dog days of summer and trying not to leave any kids in the car or walk any pets too far and drink plenty of water out there, folks. It's hot.
Stay hydrated. Stay thirsty, my friends. Chief, what's up with you, man?
Hey, nothing. Everything's good. Everything is good. How's it going, man? How the fellas? How are you guys, man? How's our family? How's everybody doing?
Cooling, man. How you, Chief?
Good, man.
Man, I'm all right, man. I'm just trying to make it. Every day's a holiday, man.
That's what I like to hear.
And that holiday is the one I got to work on. You know what I mean? I don't get that holiday off.
Got it. Okay. not quite as great as I thought it was. All right. It's okay. Another day above 6 feet is a great day, though, right?
Yeah, that's what they say.
That's what they
But,
say. But I've been told.
I've also heard when life is miserable, life is long. So
you never lied there. You never lied there.
It could go either way, man.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you pray for that 6 feet, then you
Right.
get the rest.
Some folks do, yeah.
It's been a long run, baby. I'm like, good Lord. Do I have 40 more years? I hope not. Whew. Anyway, what's going on? What's the topics, man? What's popping, man? You know what I mean? I love this Lyles Movie Files thing, man. It's what I do.
All right. So, we got a big show for everybody. We got so much stuff to talk about. One of the main things is how black people are taking over and how certain demographics can't have anything anymore because there are too many black people invading and taking over the spots that they once had all to their own. And I'm not talking about politics. I'm talking about Hollywood. So the big news about 3 days ago, Latasha Lynch, who you probably last saw in Captain Marvel, has been revealed that she is going to be playing 007 in James Bond 25. This immediately sent the small brains running for the hills, racing down to their mama's basement to frantically type on Twitter and stress how happy they were about this news. Happy, I'm sorry. I meant distraught, agonized, feel like their world is coming to an end because Bond has been replaced by a black woman. Now, of course, this movie is James Bond 25. So Daniel Craig is eventually probably going to get his 007 nickname back. But honestly, when I watch most James Bond movies, outside of the folks in MI6, no one calls him 007. They're always Bond. Bond. James. So I don't know how big a deal this is going to be. Besides, at the end, Spectre James retired, so it's not like this company, MI6, is going to stop and retire his number. They've got to find somebody else to fill the shoes. So what do you guys think about this, and do you care that Bond lost his 007 name to Latasha Lynch's character?
Okay. Can we cue in the I'm distraught from Harry Potter sound? It just seems weird. I mean, it's not like it's a bad thing. It's just like, I mean, because you actually put the best reasoning for it. Because it's like some of us forgot what happened at the end of Spectre, and there's a good reason for that. So I didn't even remember he retired. I thought he had been retired since Skyfall. I mean, I thought he's been on the outs with MI6 for 3 movies, but I forgot that he retired. So it was like, oh, okay, that makes sense that they would need somebody new as 007. Is it? I mean, it almost seems like you doing a move like that almost invites people to just like, oh, I'm not going to see it. I mean, I'll never watch another James Bond movie again. It's like, because even just replacing Bond with like another British white guy would have just been like, really? Well, I mean, it's like, that doesn't really seem right. But then you're like, oh, you bring in another race, or you bring in a race and a gender. It's like, you're just asking for controversy. And it's like, does your movie really need that? And so I don't. Is it a good look for her? It's like, hey, I mean, do I want to be the one vilified for being 007 after James Bond? I don't know if I need to break that glass ceiling. So,
But yeah, Jason, if it goes both ways, I don't care. I'm not so caught up on who's playing a made up character. You know, the outrage when, yeah, a white person plays a black character, like let's say a white person plays an Asian character like Goku or whomever, the last Airbender, whatever. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
there's going to be outrage in that, but this is white Hollywood. You know what irritates me more, what's more of a point of contention for me? We're the black studio heads. We're the Asian studio. We're the people who actually make decisions in filmmaking who are of other ethnicities.
Tyler Perry.
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Let me shut up. Tyler Perry. That's our one.
You always claim I won, don't you?
Yeah,
They're working on it. All right, hold on now. Okay, Chief, what do you think about all this, man?
You know, I mean, James Bond is I don't want to sound like he should be white, but he kind of should be white. He's a British, white, intelligent British agent. Here's what I don't understand about these things. Okay, so you want to introduce somebody into a James Bond franchise, right? You want to put some color in there.
Are you saying
Why
James
don't you
Brown?
hire? I said James Brown, but I changed it to Bond.
Okay.
I just finished walking the dog, so I'm a little like hot
Winded,
and some other stuff. Yeah. So here's the thing. Instead of just sometimes changing the character altogether, why don't they just introduce the character with a new character? For example, instead of saying, well, we're going to do a black James Bond or a black 007, why don't you bring Daniel Craig into some scenes in the movie where he kind of, in a sense, passes the torch to the new person, to the new black person or whoever the person is you want to play the new 007. You know what I'm saying? Transition it. I think some parts are meant for some people. Like you can't have. I wouldn't have a white guy playing Barack when the movie for Barack finally comes out. You know what I mean? Things of that nature. I mean, So I kind of understand where a white 007, if they're gonna give it a 007 mantle, I'm fine with that. I mean, but maybe have Daniel Craig in the movie at some point. He's in the movie. She goes to him. You know what I mean? He passes it to her. She takes over as the new 007, and now you can build a franchise around the girl because she's done that movie now. Versus sometimes, because we would have been up in arms over a white Luke Cage going through Harlem. You know what I mean? We would have been like, what the hell is this?
Hey, that's a little different. Okay.
Well, but I'm just saying that, certain things, like, for example, when they did the movie with Scarlett Johansson, she did that Ghost in the Shell movie. You know what I mean? Everybody felt the Asian person should play it. So certain parts should be for certain actors or actresses. And I'm saying instead of just coming in there and being like, okay, you're the new 007, it just causes that outroar. You know what I mean? Everybody's, oh, God, what the hell? Have Daniel Craig in there, pass the torch. I mean, you know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with somebody passing the torch to somebody the way I see it. You know what I mean? It doesn't, because, I mean, hell, we grew up on Sean Connery, Roger Moore, You know what I mean? Those were our James Bonds when we was coming up. Then of course, they started Timothy Dalton and all these other cats in there. But who was our James Bonds when we were coming up? Sean Connery, Roger Moore. They were Sean Connery was Scotland, but Roger Moore was certainly British.
Yeah.
And so my whole point being, like, you can pass the torch to somebody, but you just, you can come in and ease it. Like the Little Mermaid thing, I think was stupid. I mean, but this here, the James Bond thing, what are you getting mad for? I think that studios, sometimes I think they want to shock you. They want to, come in with their grievances. I think sometimes you just bring the character in who's been playing it, pass the character off. It's fine. Isn't Idris Elba, didn't he play Luther, who's a black cop? Is Luther supposed to be a black cop? He's supposed to be black, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know, how would you feel if a white Luther came? You know what I mean? There's no white Luther. You don't know one white Luther. At least I don't. Luther isn't even a Caucasian name. So, you know what I mean? Anytime you hear the word Luther, you know what I mean?
I'm expecting to see a black man.
A white dude, you like,
right.
Yeah, you like, who? You know what I mean? Like Leroy. You know what I mean? Those are certainly urban names.
Yeah, and I dig that, but I don't understand the super outrage about this character, unless they're billing it as this is the new James Bond, Jemina Bond, or in that respect. Well, I think they're smart enough to differentiate that this is going to be an offshot from the 007 from James Bond.
Well,
this is going to be a part of that.
Are they saying she's 007, or are they just saying she's a British agent?
That's what needs to be clarified.
No, she's 007.
She's 007. That's James Bond, and I'm saying that I don't have a problem.
Title.
If I don't have a problem with her, I don't have a problem with anybody playing the 007 character. I'm just saying that when you got in this day and time, when you've got a character that's been that character for a long time, come in, bring the old guy in, pass the mantle.
Mm-hmm.
It's been done in movies before.
Right,
somebody else comes and introduces somebody, and now they're the new character. I mean, hell, we thought the last Batman, when what's the name, gave old boy the keys to the Batman shit or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. We was like, okay, he's passed the mantle. There wasn't, but there could have been a new Batman or Robin or so on and so forth. He's passing the mantle. There's nothing wrong with him, with Daniel Craig showing up, and not even, like I said, not being throughout the whole movie, just coming in a couple of scenes or whatever where he gives her advice, comes in, she's 006, 008, Agent 321, you know what I mean? Whatever the case may be. I mean,
well, according to this,
you know what it is?
The 007 moniker is staying attached to the film project itself. She's not playing James Bond. She's going to play an agent.
But 007 is James Bond.
No,
it's 007.
That's his name. It's like a title. So there's a 006, and when 006 got killed, they replaced him with the dude who was Ned Stark. And when he got killed, they had to find another 006. It's just a title that they use.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying in that aspect. But what I'm saying, if I say 007, who do you think about?
The dude
you don't say that's
like
just a name. If I say New York Giants number 56, who do you think about?
Of course,
Roger Moore. Oh, is that not the answer?
I'm gonna need you to change your skirt, man. So that's my point. I'm saying numbers are associated with different people. So if I go in there and I say, what was Joe Montana, 10 or 11? What was he?
16.
Okay, so you, like I said, look, you knew. So if somebody else comes to the 49ers organization wearing a 16, you're like, what the hell is this? Because the number is associated with the person. Period.
I dig it,
Nobody
but
else.
typically with that respect, that number gets retired, right?
They're
If we're
not
talking that.
retiring 007.
But they're not going to
And put
retire
it
it, right?
in the MI6 office. Hey,
And
this one's retired.
I'm saying they don't have to retire. And that's what I'm saying. I'm saying they don't have to retire 007. I'm saying bring in somebody to give her the 007. Bring in somebody from the franchise and give her the 007. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, no,
I don't
I
have a
dig
problem
that.
with the girl playing 007. I'm
Right.
saying
It's just that
if
association with 007 to James Bond.
Right.
I
Give
dig
it
that.
association.
M,
give it
M
association.
gave her the 007.
Let James give her the 007.
I think the smart thing to
That's
do
all
for
I'm
that
saying.
would be this. Don't have her be as 007. You know, of course, you're going to use the whole. To introduce it, I think they're probably going to use the 007 for introductive purposes to say, hey, this is a James Bond. It's under the James Bond umbrella. But give her own call name, whether it's 009 or 01
You
or
guys
011
Okay.
or whatever.
Wait a minute.
putting way more thought into this. And
Oh,
she's probably
calm
going to be in the
down,
movie.
sweetheart. We're
She's going to
just
be in there like 2 minutes
hypothesizing.
before she gets killed off, and James has to
Calm
take the title of 007.
down. This is the things that we would like to see. You asked a question, we're
I
answering.
did. This spitball is like, man, she's
God.
getting killed. And y'all going to be like, oh, man, the heck was all that for?
It's like, hey, James, this is your replacement. Okay, cool. Oh, wait, she's dead. Now, James, we need you back as 007. Ah, sure.
Yeah. We'll title her something else.
I mean,
009, whatever.
that's as much conversation as we were putting into it. Is exactly like the studios want kind of this conversation versus saying, yeah, you know, she's not staying 007 the whole movie.
Yeah, and that's what they want because they know people are gonna come see it, talk about it, tweet it. They know that.
You got the, you know, I'm not even gonna say the racist because it's like some, I mean, like even like us is like making Jimmy Olsen like this big black dude didn't make sense to us. It's like,
No, wait. Why has it got to be a big black dude? Why can't it just be a black dude?
because he was literally a black dude towering over everybody else.
He's a big black man. That's why.
Because he was the dude that was towering over the guy who played Superman.
You know what I mean?
We couldn't even let him
Jimmy Olsen was dating beautiful women, and like, and then in the course of months, a photographer became the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar corporation. So, yeah, there's so many things wrong with that. We're not going to get into that, but yes.
Well, again, remember, we couldn't actually have Superman and Jimmy Olsen really get the same shot together because it would just be embarrassing. So,
which one of y'all is Superman again? Okay. Lion King's coming out this Friday. What do you guys think?
I mean, Disney's just live action and all of their classics. I'm waiting for them to get the what was my joint with the dogs. I want to see if they remake the We Are Siamese scene. That's what I want.
Lady in the Tramp.
Yeah, Lady in the Tramp. Let's see if they do We Are Siamese in that one. Let's see that.
Yeah, man. Them cats used to scare me when I was little.
I know. Let's see if they do Song of the South. Let's see that. Let's see if Song of the South is next.
Oh, Yeller. But you know what? I'm looking forward to the Lion King. I mean, you know what, man? I watched the 2 versions of the Jungle Book had come out. One with
how many of those did they make recently, dude?
They made 2, like in short, like back to back, within like 6 or 7 years of each other, I think.
Yeah, because one was an actual Jungle Book and one was Mowgli or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay. I went and saw both of them, and I enjoyed both of them. You know what I mean? And you know, I like the Jungle Book from the original cartoon.
You talking about the one that was on Netflix, Mowgli?
Yeah, it might have been the Netflix one, but I remember that they did like 2. I know I saw 2 different movies of it. So
yeah, I just saw the other one. How was the Jungle Book? Because Mowgli was the animation of it was really good, but it was like I think I tried to watch it like a couple weeks ago. I'm just like, well, this is interesting, but it's not keeping me, awake at 10 o'clock on a Friday night. Interesting. It's like,
nothing keeps me awake on 10 o'clock on a Friday night.
It's just like
I'm 43 now. You put me in the bed. You put me near a pillow, and I don't care what's going on around me. But yeah, man, you got to watch that joint during the day when you up.
Okay.
But it's I mean, like I said, it's not a bad show. It doesn't it's not boring. It's the Jungle Book again. But like I said, if you like the Jungle Book, then you'll just, you know what I mean? It's the same. Like, nothing really changed too much. I mean, they did a little twist of it, kind of, but nothing changed to any out there degree where you were like, well, it's totally different. But you know, they followed the same basis, you know, same premise. You know, boy lost, wolves raise him. You know,
they didn't at the end of the movie make Scar the hero, and it was actually Mowgli who was the killing everybody. You know, he was actually psycho killer.
That would have been great.
That would have been a nice change of pace. I would have thought that would have been like the real shock. It's like, actually, the reason why he was in the jungle is because he killed his parents.
Mowgli's revenge. No, they didn't do that.
Oh, man. See, I think they missed
but,
that.
I mean, they did have a twist, though. They did have a twist. So that's what I'm saying. Go watch it.
Okay.
And you'll see the twist. So,
all right. Just don't watch it at 5 o'clock. 10 o'clock at night.
10 o'clock. No, not 10 o'clock. Right. Not 10 o'clock in your bed. Especially not that.
I was on the couch, but there was a pillow behind my head, and it wasn't doing well for the Jungle Book.
Listen, we're not young dudes anymore. About 5 years ago, I think I hung out all night. I might have got home 5 o'clock in the morning, and I had to be to work at 7.
Man,
and
how'd that feel?
I'm gonna tell you, man. I've never done it again. I've never done it again. That day was the longest. I thought I was in Alaska on one of them 24-hour days.
Like in Iceland where the sun doesn't shine, doesn't say.
I'm trying to tell you, man. Hey, listen, that day didn't end, bro. It did not end.
We just don't have enough caffeine to keep you awake for that one.
I ain't got it, man. I ain't built for bodies no more. I'm home. You know what I mean? I got my socks on. I'm asleep. You know what I mean? I'm sleepy. I'm sleepy now, but I'm doing this for the fans.
You're doing it for the listeners. They do appreciate you.
Yeah, we do it for y'all. I want to, I'm looking at the clock going, if I go to sleep in an hour, I'll have 4 hours of sleep. Yeah, I'm doing that. So, yeah. But yeah, check it out. Check out the Mowgli. Okay. You know what I mean? And I think, like I said, the Lion King, I think it'll be good. I don't, as long as they stick to the general script, as long as they don't get cute, you know what I mean? And I don't think Disney I don't think they'll get cute. I think Disney's smarter than that. I think they know their base, and for the children who have been recently born, within the last, 8 or 9 years, who I think they want to present that story, because the original story was flawless. They want to present that story to the new generation coming up as is, just in that live action animation.
Well, I mean, like you make a good point. It's because kids, and I'm going to say kids today, their animation has to look a lot crisper. It has to look like almost like Japanimation style, or it's like that old school Disney might not connect with them when they're like, hey, I saw like a gorilla, what's in Planet of the Apes? I saw apes looking like real as everything talking. You're going to have to give me a little something more than that. So, and Disney has proven these live action, I'm sorry. The reason they say live action is literally for parents, because they don't want to say, oh, it's animated or computer generated. So it's really just the computer generated version of Lion King. Looks like, seeing the premiere is like, oh, that looks very good for animation. It's come a long way since Yoda, was on screen in episode 2. Actually, episode 3.
I'll be honest with you though, that for kids that really don't matter. They don't care that so much about the animation not looking as crisp as.
Okay.
They just want to be entertained, because I'm gonna tell you what sells anything with kids.
You're the only parent here, so please.
it's do they like the character, and for these Disney movies, the songs. Okay. Because I'm gonna tell you something. If you show a 5-year-old right now the original Lion King, and they like, oh, I just can't wait to be king, they're not gonna care what it look like.
Yeah.
Because they'll love the song and the story more than anything, or the character of Simba. They go for characters and moments, songs. That's what kids like. The animation don't really You know, to my kids, stuff from when I was a little kid, before I was born. That don't matter to them. They really don't. If they like it, they like it. You'd be surprised what they gravitate to.
That is surprising. I mean, it doesn't actually surprise because I'm like, I just like when I go over like my nephews and then I see what they actually look like. It's like, how many times have you watched this movie? A fair few times. Like the Incredibles and gosh, Boss Baby and all those. I mean, like the really funny ones. They've like, yeah, and you can just see the look on their parents is just like, I've seen this movie too many times. Please make it stop.
Oh yeah, you get to that point where look, I don't want to see another minion for as long as I live, dude. I don't want to see another what do you call it? Well, one I really do like is Hoodwink. That shit was funny. But like what they gravitate towards, they just like it because they like it. They're like, for example, what was the Rescuers? Man, my oldest loves the Rescuers. I wasn't even born when the Rescuers came out. You know what I mean?
That's an old one.
Yeah, that's an oldie. But they like, the kids like it. They like.
She's Gotta Have It. Just the Netflix gave it the axe. Now this is interesting because Netflix also revealed earlier today that they failed to make their list for subscribers. They had forecast that they were going to have 5 million by this point in this quarter, and they only, quote unquote, only added 2.7 million. Netflix doesn't blame it on the price increase, but more that the original movies and the original series failed to really get an audience. Ava DuVernay did tweet out today that the When They See Us numbers, or Netflix revealed the When They See Us numbers to her, and they did really well. So apparently that's not a blanket statement for all of them, but all that great original content that we've been soaking up on Netflix is not translated to new subscribers. What do you guys think about that? I know the Marvel films or Marvel shows were axed, but Netflix isn't shy about cutting shows that aren't working. Do you think this is going to start to create that backlash of, hey, I want to give this Netflix show a chance, but it's going to be like NBC and cancel it after I start getting into it? Chase, what do you think?
I think I don't think anyone's worried about like them coming up with going to NBC, ABC route, like because Netflix has to commit to a whole season, and if you at least know I can get through a whole season, that makes me invest into it a whole lot more. It's when I'm like, all right, you give me 6 episodes. It's like, all right, I don't see where you can go after this. Like the new show on ABC, Emergence. I'm like, all right, what are you gonna do? What is your plan on season 2 after the big mystery and all the reveal happens? And I think like most of Netflix's shows that they've canceled are kind of just like I can't and other than like She's Gotta Have It. It's like I know I looked at my Facebook just looking at the mentions of it. I know a lot of people were watching it, but I don't think it wasn't making people drive to go. I need to get a subscription to Netflix so I can see She's Gotta Have It. It was like, and even with the blockbuster movies, quote unquote, that they're advertising, they don't. Netflix doesn't advertise like a traditional movie companies. Like they don't set you up for 6 months. Hey, this movie is coming to Netflix. They'll just drop it randomly on a Friday and just be like, oh, okay, here's this movie. We put a lot of money into it. If you do, yay us. It's like they almost need a better marketing divisions. Like your old original core of subscribers were the people who were cutting cable. Now the price point is almost the same. Like once you have enough of these streaming services, you're just picking and choosing. So if you tell me, hey, this movie, like even just like telling me like Luke Cage is coming to Netflix September 4th, and in July, that oh wow, if I didn't have it, I might have to pick it up. Like just how I was for Young Justice was like, oh, Young Justice is coming in September for DC Universe. I'm gonna buy the subscription for this. It to me it's more of a bad marketing to miss their subscriber numbers than it has anything to do with price points or losing Marvel or anybody else. Like it's just bad business decisions.
Chief, what do you think? Is this the case, or is it a bad decision, or just the shows weren't interesting to people?
You know, here's the thing, man. You know, Disney's about to get their own subscription store thing. People know that. I think some of it is why subscribe to Netflix if you're waiting for Disney. So that's one. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we all of us are kind of movie connoisseurs, so we'll probably subscribe to Disney too when it comes out. But a lot of people aren't like that. Plus, they canceled, like you were saying, they canceled the Luke Cage, they canceled the Jessica Jones, no more Daredevil, no more Punisher. And even now when I scroll through Netflix, there's times where I have trouble finding something to watch. There used to be a time when you could go through Netflix, scroll through, and there was something always in there you wanted to see, or something new coming out that you wanted to see. For example, a couple months ago, I watched Sabrina. I don't know if any of you guys watched Sabrina.
I watched it. I didn't finish season 1, I don't think, but
okay. Well, you missed out because it's not.
I know. I'm
not
playing it on it. It's just a matter of timing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the Sabrina we grew up on from what's shorty name from the '90s.
Gosh.
But yeah.
Melissa Joan Hart.
Yeah.
Right. It's not that Sabrina. So this one is dark. It's good. It's a good Sabrina. But so you had season 1 come out. You had season 2 come out. You go through them. And that's the thing about Netflix. You go through these series, and a lot of series, then you gotta wait.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're watching your favorite series, you gotta wait. Plus, the other thing about Netflix is, and the other thing about a lot of these joints is, if someone has your subscriber joint, right? Because they like up to 4 people can watch your password. So
No. They've limited it so it's like only 2 people can watch it at one time. Like, I mean, you can have it on like only a certain amount of devices.
I know that's Hulu like that, but Netflix, I thought it was up to 4 people or 4 TVs can run it at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Not at the same time. You can have 4 different accounts, but it's limited to 2 people. Not that I know this, of course.
Nope, not at all.
Well, this is the thing. So, how many subscribers are coming through? You're missing some subscribers there. People are getting it free.
I feel like they were always. That's always been the case. But I think it's more like what you said with Disney, HBO Go, all these different options.
Yeah, it's a combo pack. But I mean, like, let me ask you this: what are you watching on Netflix now? What are you recommending?
Well, I always watch the original movies, the ones that come out this year. So I watch pretty much all of those new movies, especially if they have black people. Because some act like black people don't exist. So I make sure to watch any ones with minorities. And I'm watching Stranger Things season 2 because I'm the only person who's that far behind.
Oh no, I've watched already season 2 of Stranger Things. So, but that's what I'm saying. So the things that you watch, and then another thing about it is some of the series is only eight episodes long.
Well, you know what?
So,
the funny thing about it is, like, I'm finally getting to watching like Voltron, and it's like if they told me again, like as I said before, it's like Voltron is 8 episodes in a season, but they might have multiple seasons in a year. So that at least is like okay, like shows like I just picked up Designated Survivor last week. I'm like, oh, this is really good. And then now it's like it's got a new life on Netflix. It's like, but I mean, it's like. I'm trying to figure out what is the thing. It's like, what are they missing?
I think there's too much content when it comes to Netflix original. It's like they're just throwing spaghetti against the wall to see what's sticking. They've had their big runaway hits like Stranger Things, Orange is the New Black, and House of Cards, and Glow. Glow is a hit for them. F is for Family is a hit for them. But they've had so many and still have so many programs that are Netflix originals that you kind of get, I guess you get overload on them. And that has to come as some kind of production overload because you're pumping out series after series after series. Like I said, the spaghetti against the wall, dude. So you're hoping stuff sticks, but at the same time, you're running out of spaghetti in the pot.
But you're right about that because there are so many things when I look and scrolling through, I'm like, oh, that sounds cool. And it's like, oh, that's a TV series. I don't want to watch a series. I'd watch this if it were a movie, but I don't have the time commitment for 80 or 8 hours. I don't have that kind of time. But if it was 90 minutes, I would watch it. And some of those
Blast through it.
TV
Yep.
shows sound really interesting. I'm like, man, I am so far behind on
Like
shows that I watch,
Chief,
and I know I want to see.
Chief Jace, have y'all watched the zombie joint on there?
Which one?
Yeah, right.
Last summer? I mean, they've got so many, and it's like,
They
dude,
got so
that
many.
sounds good, but I'm enjoying Walking Dead again, and Fear the Walking Dead's
Netflix
on.
original.
Yeah. Oh, no, yeah.
You know what I'm
It's
talking
just
about, right?
like, dude, there's so much stuff, and it's like, oh man, you got to watch this, you got to watch this, and at one point it just becomes easier not to watch anything because I don't have that time to devote to a series that I know I don't get a break on. It's just,
Right.
it's
No,
weird.
definitely.
Not everything is bingeable on Netflix,
Right.
and I think
Right.
that's one of their things. It's like, I could watch this. I could bang out 6 episodes. I'm so far behind on Black Mirror, and I actually like that. And like I've started. I'm super late on that and Stranger Things season 2, but I'm like, man, I don't want to just sit and just spend all summer watching these shows.
Okay, but here's the funny thing: is like we're used to watching it on binge. A lot of these Netflix shows on binge. It's like we could space if we were just smarter. We could just space them out and like watch them one a week, and even just one at night.
Right?
And
Yeah, because that's what I'm
like,
doing.
It's like any show like that, like the series. You're just like, oh, I can't sit down and watch a whole 22 episodes of the season. It's like,
well, let me ask
you
y'all this.
Watch an hour. You're okay.
Let me ask y'all this, Chief. You touched on it too. Would Netflix benefit from slowing their roll of taste and saying, look, we're only going to put out 1 or 2 of these series per quarter?
No,
right?
I think they need that content. That's their whole thing. Even if it's crap, somebody's gonna watch it. It doesn't really cost them anything to keep it on there. And they have that whole thing of cycling stuff on and off. And if it's not finding an audience, they'll just cancel it. It's no sweat for them. If they get a hit, great. If not, that's 10 hours that somebody can just soak up watching their crappy show.
Well, let me ask you, in turn for that, the cost of producing that many programs, that many movies, that much content, it has to come at an operations cost. At some point, do you get bloated?
They're cheaper than regular shows.
In a lot of cases, these shows are basically running, and Netflix is just here's the
and they're buying
content
from
distributors. It's not like they're putting forth all the money to get this stuff out.
Right.
Like a show like Designated Survivor with Kiefer Sutherland is probably costing more than 6 shows with no one that you've ever heard of starting.
Right.
And Winona Ryder probably wasn't that expensive when Stranger Things kicked off.
But even in that case, as you have hits that develop and their budgets go up, will that, and here's the other caveat to that too, is as production values increase on shows that become hits, and also as your projected membership numbers don't meet expectations, and maybe you lose a couple of membership, does that change the dynamic of how you produce content and the rate in which you produce content or put content out there for the streaming service of Netflix?
It's funny because to me, I'm like, I don't watch everything on Netflix. I watch the stuff that I want to see, and I feel like a lot of people do that anyway. And
yeah, definitely.
There's always at least one good romantic comedy each month that comes out on Netflix where it's like, oh, that was good. There wasn't going to be a theater that's going to put it out. So I'm glad I watched it, and I'm glad I'm watching Netflix for that.
Yeah.
And
like
then there's
Always Be My Maybe. That was good.
Yeah. And they've had a ton of movies like that where it's like, this was good, and I'm glad this got out here to an audience. I've watched a couple of video on demand films that and I start noticing traffic on the site, and it's because it's gotten picked up on Netflix, and it's like, oh, that's why. And there's like a ton of people who want to see these these movies that never have a shot in the theaters, and I think that's Netflix niche. And those movies that are decent, like those romantic comedies, can't cost anything because
Right.
they're simple. A movie like Good Sam, which is really great, it didn't have. I mean, it was basically a Hallmark movie on Netflix. It wasn't, and I'm not like insulting it in terms of the quality, just
No,
in
it's
terms of
just
the
in terms of
production.
cost wise. We're not
Yeah,
talking about $100 million movie.
right. Now I know they haven't done as many movies like Bright and having a big star like Will Smith headlining this year, but they really don't need to
You don't need it.
because they can get those high level B stars and they're fine.
You can do a movie with somebody like Sandra Bullock and spend $30 million total for something like Bird Box and have the whole country talking for 3 weeks straight.
Oh, well, say,
Yeah,
but you think about it, like Netflix inked this big deal next year to have The Rock in a movie, and it's like, yeah, that's a big get, but it's like, is that going to lead to new subscribers? I mean, the people are there. It's like, I mean,
I
and
don't
this
know.
is even
Hey,
saying,
Jace,
even
for
the,
real though, you could have put Skyscraper, whatever the Rock's Tower Inferno on Netflix, and it wouldn't have missed a beat. I don't think.
no,
I think a lot of more people would have watched it too.
Exactly.
yeah, I think you're right. It's like if I don't have to pay $20 extra that month, it's like, you know what, Rock's in a disaster movie, sure, why not? San Andreas, sure, whatever, I can do that.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing right there you just brought up.
I mean,
So I mean, we see Adam Sandler doing it.
hey, that movie, his
Those
last one with Jennifer Aniston, that was funny too.
that was
Right.
funny, man. I like
It
that.
was, and I'm like, all these people hating because it's like hating on Adam Sandler is cool, but I mean that movie was everything it needed to be, and it's like,
Hey,
look,
man, hey
it
Jeff,
delivered.
I'm tired of that. Look, Adam Sandler made you laugh throughout the '90s. Shut up. You still like Adam Sandler. I don't
Yeah,
want to hear that from people.
that's what I was like. All right, I'm gonna close my door and I'm gonna laugh. As long as no one hears me laugh, no one can say I was laughing at Adam
Yeah.
Sandler and Jennifer Aniston in this hilarious movie.
Yeah, I don't want to hear that. You still like Adam Sandler. I don't be wanting to hear that from people. But no. My question was, with folks like Adam Sandler who signed his six projects deal with them.
Yep.
We see a lot of comedians doing it, like Bill Burr. His last 4 specials have come out on Netflix. Mike Epps has got a new deal with them. When comedians are signed on deal, are we going to start to see more actors and not like B-list or not B-list actors? We're talking A-listers sign on for 3-4 picture deals with Netflix. And if that happens,
I think we're gonna get a lot of those passion projects,
Mhm.
and so it's like, but with Rock, I think he knows the audience basically.
Yeah.
Summer blockbuster, just do that stuff, crank it out, people watch it. But I think we're gonna see films that I don't know, man. I think we're just gonna see movies like Point Blank, where Anthony Mackie and Frank Grillo
That's
do
good.
like an '80s movie, and then do their thing, and it's on Netflix, and you watch it on a rainy day.
Yeah. No, and have you watched it?
Oh, I watched it.
He reviewed
It's
it.
good. I like it.
Dude, that soundtrack was done
Dope.
by me and the Casio keyboard.
It was dope. It was dope.
I hated
loved
that
it.
soundtrack. That soundtrack was terrible. And your mockery of it only confirms that it was terrible.
It was fantastic. Well, also,
you're saying it was fantastic.
Yeah, he said Javon
terrible.
level.
I'm saying-
Javon's good and terrible.
yeah, it's good and terrible.
It was terrible.
Now, are there any directors? That's my last question. Are there any directors, like big name directors? We know Ava DuVernay has done her thing on Netflix. Are there any big name directors like, I don't know, Guillermo del Toro or Tarantino or somebody in that vein who has signed off to do stuff?
What was the movie that won Best Picture? Roma.
Yeah.
Roma. You're right.
Yeah,
You're
I mean,
right.
it's like Netflix can get all of those kind of movies, and it's like if they can just like straight up advertise, like, hey, we got this big name director, and we're telling you months in advance that this movie is coming on Netflix.
Well, wait.
You're gonna get new subscribers.
Well, wait.
And like,
yeah.
and let's say, I want to take back one second. Think of how many people would not have gone to see Sandra Bullock in Bird Box.
Man, you
in
wouldn't have saw that in the theaters. You wouldn't have saw
Oh
that.
yeah, people would have laughed it off. Like, I'm not seeing that. That looks stupid.
Yep.
It's called Bird Box. I ain't going
Right.
for it.
No, I'm good. But people talked about it. You're right, for months and weeks after that, and it was good.
Well,
And I
let me
feel
ask
like
you
that would have
this.
been one that would have been good in movies in the theaters, but
They
Netflix.
wouldn't have found the audience, I don't think.
Was Roma one of those an exclusive to Netflix, or was that a purchase through us the film? What do you call it? The film
So
festival.
Netflix bought it, and then they released it, but they had to throw it in a few theaters to get the Oscar.
For your considerations.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So that's how that worked out. But it's real interesting. So yeah, that's some interesting stuff, and I'm curious to see what goes down over the next few months with Netflix. If we're going to see more movies or more series coming through, because I really think they should start slanting more to movies. I think that's more their bread and butter, or where people will start buzzing. Because I don't really hear a lot of new TV shows getting buzz, but And Jace brought this up to me. Gossip Girl is going to have a sequel, and it is going to be on HBO. As someone who watched 0 seconds of Gossip Girl, Jace, tell me why this has you excited, and what in the world is this going to be about?
Okay, I'm not saying it is going to have you be excited, but I did. I mean, it's like I was over at my girlfriend's house and she was watching Gossip Girl, and it was like, okay, this isn't horrible. I mean, some of these people are just miserable, nasty people, but it was like, oh, I mean, it's like especially like the a little more adult slant you can put on HBO versus I think when this originally came out, it was on CW, and just adding that little bit of like bump up, especially for a sequel. I don't know if it's gonna be like the same cast or something like that. I'm sure this is gonna. I mean, like to be honest, this is something that would get somebody. Hey, you know what? I like this show a lot on CW. If you tell me when this is coming on, I will order my subscription of HBO Go to check out at least a couple episodes to see if it's worth keeping up. So I think this was a good move actually by HBO because it's like the show was basically it started off like the usual teen comedy, teen angst drama. Starts off with them in high school, then tries to do the college thing, but that fails miserably, and so they try to take them into like adult life. But I mean, because basically it's like this. I'm sorry. For anybody who's never watched the show, let me give you a 2 second thing. This site is it's like basically like a tabloid of all the popular pretty people and what they're doing behind closed doors, and it gets basically blasted out via like Facebook to all the high school people. That's the 2 second nutshell version of Gossip Girl. Now, if you did it like if you stick with the original characters, what they're doing, like they're basically a bunch of New York socialites. So you could do that very easily, translated that into just current. Just like current. What are the socialites doing in New York? Especially, following the same cast of characters now, probably in their 30s. And what are they doing? Like, what? You don't have to make it like a reunion show, but like, what are they doing? Like, these former socialites now they got kids. Uh, drug habits. Like, there's a decent avenue to go with the show. So I think that was a smart move by HBO to pick it up.
Does anyone else watch Gossip Girl? And if not, did Jace's description convince you to start watching it? You sold on Gossip Girl?
I don't even know what that is. I'd love to, make fun of Jay. But I'm not even gonna do that. You know what
Thanks,
I mean?
Man.
I'm gonna let you go free, man. I know how you like your Pew shirts, and that's a Pew shirt move.
See, I was like, man, this is why I'm really happy not to have Gunner here. He'd have been talking about All-Star Superman.
Yeah.
But then Chief just like, oh, wait, I'm gonna stab an act in you. Sorry.
So I don't know what guy sits down and watches Gossip Girl. But
no guy will sit down. No guy will sit down and watch Gossip Girl. A guy will sit there and not want to kill himself.
I think you mentioned your girlfriend, but I think you were alone, and I think you watched it. So
yeah, don't
I have no idea. Right? Don't put her in it. I have no idea what it's about. So, and I don't want to know. So that's not gonna make me. You know what I'm looking forward to though on HBO, which I heard may be coming out, and I don't know if I heard it from Lyle's Movie File first or just I read it in an article. Was they're gonna do a version of The Sopranos when they were younger.
Javon is the only other person who's really watched Sopranos. Would you want to see a prequel?
Yeah.
I watched. Yeah, I watched a prequel.
Yeah, watch it.
I'd watch a prequel to Sopranos. Did you guys ever watch on Stars Gladiator? It was Spartacus.
The Blooding.
Well, yeah, so they did Spartacus, and then the dude got sick. Andy, I think his name was Andy or something like that. And the dude who was the original Spartacus got sick, and he ended up dying from cancer. So in between that time where they were trying to wait for him to get well again, like hoping that he beat it, they did a prequel with Gallatin. I forget the dude's name now. And the prequel was good. So all I'm saying is that a Sopranos prequel, like we don't have any good, like there's not, like some of my favorite movies are mafia movies. Casino, Goodfellas right now running on cable. I even like Mobsters, hell. So I was a fan of The Sopranos. So I don't mind that coming back. I don't want to watch Gossip Girls. So, I'm looking forward to that if that's true. I'm just want some good content, man. It's summertime, and I feel like at summertime they don't put out a lot of good content because they don't feel people will be home. And there's some things on Netflix I guess I could try to get into. Like I've been trying to get into this Winona Earp for like I've been forcing myself to watch it. I have got into The Runaways on Hulu, which was original content, I believe.
What is the premise of Winona Earp?
Winona
Earp. So there's a bunch of demons running around.
Like Wyatt
and
Earp.
she's got a gun, like Wyatt Earp's gun, and it's the only thing that can really kill them.
Oh, okay.
Doc Holliday is a kind of like a ghost, and he kicks it with her, gives her, he runs with her kind of. It's kind of like, yeah, so it's that type thing. But
okay, so it's a sci-fi. Okay, all right. Yeah,
it's a sci-fi thing, man. But they sometimes they just do an awful amount of talking on that joint. What I do hope I'd like to see some the greatest American hero and Knight Rider hit Netflix. Some of the old joints from the, you know what I mean? Like some of the old joints
just
that
the
we
rerun.
can go to. Yeah, not a new one. Not just you know what I mean? So we can watch some of the old shows that we used to watch. Good Times, The Jeffersons. I could sit down and actually, just run through The Jeffersons, run through Good Times, run through a couple episodes of Knight Rider.
That's a full day right there. Give me Miami Vice.
Yeah.
That's why CBS is like, we have an app. We really want you to pay. We got those properties. Don't you want to sit there and watch CBS exclusives?
Yeah.
Jeffersons?
Yeah, in the heat of the night. You know what I mean?
Night Court.
Yeah, just some of the things that we used to watch. I think that'll be good if they do some of that content on there, so you can go in there and watch it. You know what I mean? And who's really gonna kill? Who's really gonna make some money? When because the only reason why DirecTV is in business is because of this NFL package.
Very much.
So the next thing that gets the NFL package, like just imagine if Netflix got an NFL package, right? You sign up for your favorite team for, let's say, $20 more during the football season, right? $20 more a month during the football season to watch your favorite team. How many people would subscribe to that joint? You understand what I'm saying? I mean,
yeah.
that joint would kill. that joint would kill. I'm waiting for the NFL to get wise on that.
No. AT&T, I was really like doing the business. I'm like, that would be worth it, but I forgot. NFL, DirecTV is basically AT&T, and that's why that deal isn't going anywhere.
Well, this is the thing though. Like, eventually somebody's gonna offer them some money, and like I said, in the NFL is one thing about the NFL is greedy.
Mm-hmm.
So even if they offer it to one more person, you know what I mean? Because that whoever else gets that package is going to come out a winner.
Okay, wait.
They're going to come out a winner.
I'm trying to think. The reason they might be hesitant to do like somebody with Netflix, because Netflix doesn't release how many people are watching things at a given time. And for NFL, they would be like, hey, we need to know how many people are watching at a given time for our advertisers. That would be the only
I think that with the NFL package, you go to Netflix, you hit the live TV, right? And then of course it'll go to whatever NFL servers are. So you're on Netflix, quote unquote, but you go to that live server.
Okay.
And then they'll log you in that way. So you'll get the commercials and yada yada, so on and so forth. But you got to pick your team. Like when you first get it, you got to pick your team. You only access, the more money you pay is the more teams you get. So
now that's a great way to go.
Right. So if you pay $20 a month, you're just gonna get for you Denver, for Jeff San Francisco, Javon. Are you a Dallas fan, Javon? What you like the Skins? I don't even know who you like. It's the Skins.
Oh, no, I ride with the Washington. Unfortunately,
Okay, so you like the Skins. You like the Skins, but you cool. You get to see your games. So
do you want to see your games?
No. Well, and for me, the Giants. So this is the thing. I would pay that $20, $25, $30 a month to see the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
Would you really?
You know what I mean?
And I'm saying that not sarcastically. I wouldn't pay right now $20 to see my Broncos play.
That'd be like $4 a game, or $5 a game. I'd pay
$5
that.
or $6 a game.
Yeah,
come on,
I'd
dude.
definitely do that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'd pay that. You know what I mean?
Because what is that?
So,
that's just $60. By the end of the season, basically. If your team's going to the playoffs, you're not paying that extra month to watch them lose out for the number one draft pick.
So think about how much extra flow will go into Netflix, or like Prime has, like Amazon Prime has a live sports thing going on within it. Think about how much extra if you could sign up to that and pay. Like I think these companies, DirecTV is letting these companies beat them out to that and on that aspect. So you want subscribers, you want people to come, give the people what they want. You know what I mean? Give the people what they want. It's all good on shows, but let's be honest. You go to sports bars for sports. If you can see your team at home, NBA packages, whatever you want, offer it to the people. So, and then that's, but Golden Girls, or what was it, Golden Glamour Girls? I don't even know what it's, Gilmore Girls? What kind of girls?
Gossip Girls, like what? Like what?
Pretty girly,
So yeah, that's not what the people want, man. You know what I mean? That's not what the people want. I mean, women do. I don't. Is that a power? Who even plays in Gossip Girl?
Blake Lively was a star in that.
Blake Lively?
Ryan Reynolds' wife.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Did you watch the show on Netflix? You?
You?
Yeah.
Y-O-U.
Y-O-U. No. That's actually not a bad show.
What's it about?
It's basically about a psycho who's stalking the girl he really likes and basically tries to make her fall in love with him based on the stuff he knows. Yeah, it's a series.
Yep. And I saw it, I was like, oh, that'd be a cool movie.
Yeah. I was like, it's good because it's like that actually couldn't be played out like a movie, but it does. It's a series. It's like, oh, okay, that was a good series. So, but the lead and that was from Gossip Girl. So,
Gotcha. Okay, so we've talked about this, and I'm very curious to hear everybody's take on this now. So, Entertainment Weekly had its big Comic-Con tie-in issue, and they featured the stars of the Arrowverse. So that was Supergirl, Green Arrow, you know the actors' names, Flash, Batwoman, and Sarah Lance. No Black Lightning because he doesn't exist, and black people apparently don't exist in the Arrowverse according to their publicity stuff. We've gotten some news on Arrow's final season. This is going to be, according to the showrunner, a glimpse through his greatest hits. So each episode is going to be a tie into the season. So the first episode is going to tie into season 1, episode 2, so forth. And I think it's 10 episodes, so the last 2 are going to be tie-ins to the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover. Apparently, Oliver's going to learn that he's going to die, so he's going to go through all the stages of grief, and that's what's going to comprise these episodes. And we already know that in some capacity, Tommy and Prometheus will be showing up. They've announced that those actors will be back for the final season. Not sure how that's going to play out, but maybe just a flashback, or something like that. And we also know that there's going to be at least some traces of the future storyline because William and Mia will be back as season regulars. So there's going to be some sort of time shifting element again. I don't know about you guys, but I hated that last season. I thought it was the worst part of last season and Arrow's worst season. So I'm really not looking forward to seeing them show up. Jace, I think you're the only person here who watches this with me. What do you think about this news with Arrow? Are you gonna watch it?
no. Oh, you probably want a conversation after that.
Yeah, like a little more.
It's like I always hear that. You're like, oh wait, you just asked me a straight up just an easy question. Heck no.
Yeah, that was my mistake.
The whole future storyline was horrible. It's just like, hey, Oliver and your crew, you were useless. Nobody cares about you, and you guys were vilified because you did something, which I don't even care to find out what that something was. It's like and I'm sorry. I will say you let your wife come up with a stupid ass plan, a stupid Big Brother system that lets you know the DNA of any person in the city, and you guys are vigilantes. Like, what moron lets that happen? It's like, oh wow, we've loved Big Brother and government so much. Let's give especially how Oliver Queen is supposed to be this like kind of very left wing dude, even though he's a super rich dude. He's kind of like a man of the people. Like, how would he think that? Hey, maybe I should tell my wife this is a dumb idea. She doesn't think before most of the technology she makes, but this one's really stupid.
It was just excessively stupid.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I can find your DNA across the street, but I'm sure nobody will ever use this for a bad purpose. I'm sorry. What? What? Come on. Like, there's just no context. Oh, Felicity, my God, you're the smartest person we know. Really?
Hey,
nope, no one's saying anything?
Felicity will not be there this season. That much we know.
Yeah, I don't buy that. She's coming the last episode to take over the whole crossover, and the finale of the crossover will be Arrow, and 90% of the show will be focused on Felicity. You heard it here first, right here. So somehow everybody will say, even the Monitor will bow down to the genius that is Felicity. Just like, you know what? I've been all over the multiverse, and I never thought of that. You got it, Felicity.
I want to say you're wrong.
I know you do.
I really do.
Like, really, you want to say it won't happen, but you're like, you know what? I've seen this story before.
So I'm sticking on silent right now.
Yeah, it's like as we were joking about it earlier. It's like I was watching that. We were watching that like with my dad, and he was like, "Wait a minute, is this the same thing they did last season?" I'm like, "We're just like couldn't help. You just stopped. Like, yes, this is what I'm talking about." Like the greatest hits of Oliver Queen's. Like, can we just go back to season 1, 2, and 5, and all the rest of it didn't happen? Because I'm perfect. If we're gonna make 9 episodes or 10 episodes, just stay on those 3 seasons. each season gets 3 episodes. I mean, the rest of it was trash. I mean, just call. I mean, it's just call it like it was. I mean, spade is spade. The rest of the show's been trash. Like we like the characters for the most part, but when it came to storyline, it was like retread, trash, bad. It's like Felicity is God. I mean, it got old real quick. So
Real quick.
yeah.
Okay, good point. So let's move on because I'm glad this is Arrow's last season because I really have all kinds of concerns and issues about that. Supergirl is also going to see some major changes. Melissa Benoist, I don't know how you pronounce her name. Melissa B, let's go with that. She's announced and revealed to her Instagram followers that Supergirl has a new costume. And this time, the skirt is gone. She's wearing pants. Chief, I know you're excited about this because way back in season 1, Melissa B was always saying we've been talking about pants since season 1. Every time a writer from the show has come up and it's freezing cold in Vancouver, I'm like, guys, please can I not wear tights? I love Kara's old costume. I haven't changed it because it so works, and I think it's very Kara. I've always felt that until recently. I'm like, something's got to give. And because, hey, maybe this will help out with the special effects and fight scenes, Melissa B also said, I just think it's more adult. Part of my goal in this whole series, for whenever the show ends, I just want there to be a very clear arc for this character that she evolved as a woman and found her femininity and her adulthood just as self-discovery. So, Chief, what do you think about the news of no skirt in Supergirl and the more adult, more mature hero named Supergirl?
Well, Supergirl is actually Superwoman because you can tell this girl, she doesn't look nothing like a girl. That's all woman right there. It's not Supergirl. And then on top of that, none of the crew is very smart there. Not even your boy Brainiac. They're all just a bunch of unsmart characters behind that writing. So whether she wears pants, tights, leggings, jeggings, a trench coat, it's not gonna matter. It's not gonna matter. Supergirl is. I watch it, but maybe I watch it because I love misery. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna make some more wrong choices in my life still, and Supergirl is just one of those wrong choices. So, and they never fail to amaze you with the things they do on their TV. So I don't know why she wants to wear tights. I don't know why the skirt
It's more
doesn't work
adult,
for her.
Chief.
Is skirts adult? I mean, it's not like she's in a onesie.
Real women
Well,
don't
now
wear
she'll
skirts.
be. Now she'll be in a onesie.
Have you seen a picture of what it looks like?
I haven't seen the picture, man. You're gonna have to send it to me,
All
but
right, I'll send it.
I will. I'll tell you this, man. Supergirl be bugging. she is bugging, man. They keep bringing it back though. So somebody's watching. Somebody besides me is watching. They keep bringing it back. You know what I mean? It's like athlete's foot. You know what I mean? It's you know what I mean? You don't want it, but it keeps coming back. So what are you gonna do, man?
All right, Chief. I
Supergirl,
just sent you the picture.
Let me see this thing here. Let's see what's going on with Supergirl. Yeah, it's a onesie. She got her hair looking weird. The suit looks weird. It's bunched up in the leg. She feels comfortable with it, man. You know what? You ever have somebody just concentrating on the wrong thing? And that's what I feel like happened just now with Supergirl. So she made an announcement about this suit, which is so what about the writing? Why did you make an announcement about that? You know what I mean? Like, we have fired our writers. We have a new team coming in to give you great content. Also, we're going to bring in a quality control team so that when we do the stunts, you know, somebody's putting some effort in to make sure they look at least somewhat realistic to you watchers. When we hurl somebody, when a supervillain hurls somebody at a car, the car that they hit will dent. You know,
he is not giving over the code. The car is
dude. That right, the car thing, the grass thing, the blue sun thing. It's too many mistakes on that joint, man. It's too many mistakes for the beating of Superman. You know what I mean? The how foolish, how like Lex Luthor wasn't even smart.
No, Lex Luthor was
really smart. I got
no. Like, Lex got out of prison and was manipulating everything in that last season. Like, he got out of jail, put the president in office. That was impressive.
Dude, how did he do all this? You know what I mean? Like, they just showed this is what he did. You know what I mean? Like, there was no putting it together. That's just like, you know what I mean? Next day, tomorrow you wake up and I'm president.
No. Remember the episode where it basically explained Lex Luthor? Like, hey, he put Otis, he figured out who to be. Ben Lockwood is the face of the anti-human, alien resistant instead of him because he's, bad guy, number one. So he makes this guy, everyman Joe, is the person against the alien.
Let me ask you this. Was that something that you could have thought up?
No.
Really?
Because I'm looking at it. Coming up with a patsy, and then creating the next patsy is the vice president. Yeah, I don't know how to manipulate people that hard.
Well, I'm saying that you can come up with patsy. Like, it just wasn't. Even the Justice League.
Listen, was everything else that was annoying on the show? Did some of that go on to Lex Luthor as well? Just the stupid stuff just compounded, and then you didn't like Lex as much, even though we thought John Cryer would be horrible as Lex Luthor, and he was passable.
Do you thought so? I thought
yes.
The Lex Luthor, the problem I have with these Lex Luthors from these movies is that these Lex Luthors are either old, they're either weak, or they're just silly. Like the Lex Luthor that only Lex Luthor that I was in agreement with, but the series sucked, was Smallville. I didn't like my man as the Lex Luthor from Justice League. I didn't like John Cryer. Yeah, I didn't like John Cryer as Lex Luthor. I didn't like my man Kevin Spacey.
What's your ideal Lex Luthor? Are we talking? You're more like the comic book, Superman the animated series. Would that be your?
More of a genius. But to me, in a sense, if you're an evil genius, you're trying to destroy. Like you ever see the movie Limitless?
Yes.
So. When dude became a genius, what did he do? Straighten out his apartment. He started working out,
and he made more pills.
That's not what he did. He decided to gamble and did some other random.
Well, he was playing the stock markets at first, and then he found a faster way to make money. But then he found that the pill was killing him, and instead he found a way to eliminate what was in the pill that was killing him. So,
yay!
But what I'm saying is, as a genius, on a genius level, he started working out, which makes sense to me. So when I see these scrawny Lex Luthors or these Lex Luthors who just, like, I look for something brilliant in them. And I don't find, they're kind of comical to a sense. And I don't, my character as Lex isn't a comical guy. He's a serious guy. And I didn't like the character of Lex being played almost like he was a fool. Like he just wasn't. And I get you guys like John Cride. I'm not saying that I hated him.
Like is not the right word. He wasn't horrible. But to quote Dwayne, he wasn't that bad.
He was fine in the role.
You know,
like Brainiac, he's not like Brainiac 5 casting, like just completely.
Brainiac sucks.
Yeah.
His buddy Brainiac sucks. That role is sucks.
His genius is just not even present. It doesn't make sense.
Manchester Black's role is kind of sucky.
Manchester.
John the Alien is sucky. James the photographer CEO is sucky. Supergirl, sucky. Lana Luthor, sucky.
Lillian.
I mean
what?
Huh?
What is Lena? I was like, wait, what's the
Lana, whoever. She's a LL. She's a LL. So they're all just kind of like.
Okay, I know we talked about this. You didn't like her at the end where she's like, I'm gonna give y'all bastards one chance to tell me everything.
Well, that was the best part. That was the best scene. That was the best scene in the whole damn show. When she sat there at the end watching them lie to her. And she was like, mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you think, like when you watch this thing, and I'm not saying the girl who plays her isn't a good actress. And I'm not saying that the actress, I'm saying the way they're written and their parts, they don't come off as good as they could be. Mm-hmm. Like they could make this Supergirl thing actually a pretty good show, but they make their characters at times almost comical.
Well,
you know what I mean?
You know the thing is, like, I give Supergirl the credit. They have not, since they've been on CW, they haven't treaded the same ground as much as Flash has. Flash and Arrow have been pretty much rinse and repeat series, each season, beside the actual good ones. Supergirl's like, hey, we got, we're going with the anti-alien movement after, the aliens decide to take over again. Go figure.
I get that. Chase, I get all that. But how many decisions have Supergirl made that was just unsmart? Just you were like, yo, why did she do that? How many decisions has she made? How many times has she gotten beat by a lesser being, or got punched by somebody who was regular, who shouldn't have punched her in the first place? Like I'll just watch it sometimes, and I'll be like, why did you make that decision? Well, why did you do that? What happened here with this? Like, she just does things that, as you're watching, you're like, was that the decision you made? Was that the smartest decision that you came up with there? Did that make sense? Did it make sense? And a lot of times when you're watching that show, if you think about it, it doesn't make sense. I mean, we was just talking about it the other day. Her in the fight with Lex, and he's shooting lasers at her, right?
Yeah.
So what's the difference between a laser and a bullet if you can dodge them both? Why is she getting hit? Why is she doing acrobatics when she can move at the speed of light and pluck them and knock them out?
Because if she did everything that she could, there wouldn't really be any good fight scenes.
See, that's what you're saying. But I'm saying if the writers were better, the villains would have better weapons, and it would make sense.
There you go.
So if Lex was, if that suit was, say, spitting out kryptonite like it should, because I mean she was in a suit, this, that, and the third, right? Maybe kryptonite bullets or something like that weakened her.
Yeah, like it was low-grade kryptonite is just basically a shield around the suit. And even if she was trying to use heat vision from a far distance, it wouldn't do anything. Yes. Like
so that's what I'm saying. Like these, like, and this is what I'm saying. You have comics. There's references. You can go and reference something and actually bring it into the show. It doesn't have to be that bad. You can make the action scenes make sense. You know what I mean? You can catch Supergirl unawares. I mean, if I'm looking right at the problem and I have superpowers and I still get cold cocked by a regular person, anybody, like, yo, what are we talking about here? So yeah, so they it's not the suit. All that to say, it's not the suit. They have other issues. If them same writers come back and don't put together a storyline that makes sense, let me tell you something. At work, man, we got these machines that can lift heavy things. You know, we put the hook in and we hook something, and you know we hoist it up with the hook. Now this is a low scale hoist. If I have hit my head on that low scale hoist, and let me tell you, that thing hurts. It isn't about, it's no more than maybe 8 pounds, but it's 8 pounds of metal swinging. We saw a 20-ton hoist hit a man in the head. A hoist that holds 20 tons hit a man in the head, and he was conscious when they brought him into the police car. They didn't take him out in the ambulance. They walked into the police car. I'm saying things like that don't make sense to me. Like, yo, do better. Do better this year. Do better. So, yeah. So wear whatever suit you want. You know what I mean? You can wear a Hello Kitty outfit with a cape behind it. But be better. Let the writing be better. Let the foes be better.
All right. Well,
let their plots be better.
I think that's a good point. Good time now for talking about people to do better. Fellas, who are your nominees for Dummies of the Week? Jace, let's start with you.
Okay. Well, I was on ESPN, and I happened to once again see a headline that caught my attention, and it states, Broncos hope their poor quarterback play ends with Joe Flacco.
The headline says it all.
The headline says everything I need to know. The dummy of the week is once again, my Denver Broncos, for thinking we're going to get into the playoffs. And this is where you would have the Jim Mora soundbite. Playoffs? Playoffs? Yeah, with Joe Flacco as quarterback. It's like just, yeah, or winning championships. It's like just, I'm looking forward to a nice transition year where Flacco potentially hands it off to Drew, the potential quarterback we drafted in the second round, and see where we go from there. But if there are anyone who thinks the Denver Broncos have any championship aspirations with Joe Flacco, is a dummy of the week.
Javon, what do you got?
You know, I wanted to. What I'm going to do, I'm going to nominate good folks at ESPN for their. They put on the ESPYs every year, and it seems like every year they just get it wrong. from the host to the jokes, it just seems to fall flat every year. And I always like to watch the monologue to see how bad it's going to be. I don't think in those, I don't know, 5 6 years I've watched this show that anyone's ever done a good job as host or doing an actual monologue that was funny. And the problem is they just their hosts of the last 3 years have been Drake, Peyton Manning, and Tracy Morgan. Now I'll never remember. First things first, Drake has hosted both the ESPYS and the NBA awards, right? Albeit Drake is one of the biggest rappers, one of the biggest stars in the world. Some things just ain't for you to do, and that was definitely one of them. He's you kind of got to be funny and have timing. You got to be one of those entertainment, like old school showbiz kind of guys, like cut your teeth on stage, telling jokes and entertaining a crowd, right? Um, Peyton Manning, God bless him, he tried. He's a quarterback, man. There's nothing funny about Peyton Manning other than to look at his face and say, God, that's a weird looking dude. It's not like, okay, I'm pretty sure in his social circles, he's a funny, engaging guy, but when you put him on a stage and he has to entertain a room full of hundreds of people and millions watching across the globe, that's not his wheelhouse. Tracy Morgan really tried, but I don't think Tracy Morgan's been on stage telling jokes in years. Tracy Morgan's been on TV for a long time. And I guess it's something to be said about when you take yourself out of that environment. You can't work a room, you can't work a crowd. Um, so ESPN, they get it wrong with their hosts again, and they also get it wrong with the writers' room. And who in the hell is writing a joke? It was something that was talked about all of last, well, most of last week, even bleeding into this week. But if you go on YouTube and watch some of these jokes that were delivered by presenters like Usher, God, I can't think of the guy's name for Patrick Mahomes, a couple other folks came out there, and the jokes just fell flat across the board. It's like ESPN, you got to do better. Hire writers and commit to having someone host this thing that can actually host an award show. Like, do your homework a little bit. Stop bringing in people because okay, they got a name or something like that. It's just a bad look, and it's just not funny. Like you want to go viral for something, especially if you're on an award show for great moments and being funny. You don't want to go viral because everybody who came out there and told a joke on that stage bombed. It was like the worst amateur night ever at the insert comedy club here. That's my dummy, ESPN. Get it right.
That's a good dummy choice. All right, Chief, you got one?
Well, since we went sport themed here, uh, one of the Giants players, man, Cam Moore, something like that, man, just got suspended for the team for just domestic violence.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out why these dudes continue to um continue to beat on their women or get into trouble like this. Like, yo, you guys have the whole world in front of you, and you cannot stand. Listen, first of all, if you got to hit your woman, it's time to get out that relationship. That's number one. And you need to seek some type of help, man. I'm just so sick and tired of these athletes, man, just making these wrong decisions constantly. And I'm like, dude, so another one is getting suspended for, this dumb stuff, man. And how many more times are we going to see this with these cats? Like, how many times, like, it's almost like right now, people not knowing the effects of, like, I fail to realize how new drug addicts are born every day. You know the effects, you see what happens, yet, you know what I mean? it doesn't make sense to me. And so I dummy of the week to my man. I don't know what you were thinking. You got too much on the line not to walk away from situations like that. You know what I mean? So there it is.
My dummy of the week is everyone who used the Face app and are now surprised to see that all kinds of privacy issues were taken, all kinds of information was handed over, and that it was a company made by Russians. All those people were like, what? All you guys. Remember dummies of the week. Yes, come on. Come up with dummy emails and all that stuff and go for it. Anyhow, so that's it for me. So, fellas, thank y'all as always for rolling with me. Thank y'all out there for listening to us. This episode of the Owls Movie Files has been filed.